learn from my mistakes because we fucked up. Some of the firewood has started getting some mold on it. New water started getting into the firewood. It kind of sucks.
Steve and Frida, they're mighty fine, but they're flawed, they'll steal your time. Folks, gather around, let's spread the word. Their adventures we must applaud. Steve and Frida, oh, they're the best. Their plots a treasure, it's a quest. Like and subscribe, don't hesitate. Join the journey, become their mate.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today's episode is an episode where you, Jan, yes, you, Jan, where you all get to learn from my mistakes. Yes, I've made a mistake with my firewood. Yeah, so this is all the firewood we have left, as you can see. And it is almost the end of February now, and the firewood, the winter can hold until the end of April. If it's gonna be enough, I don't know yet, but we always knew that this year was gonna be a guessing game. We didn't know how much firewood we're gonna need, but that's not the problem at the moment. I think we'll be okay with the amount of firewood we have, but we'll see. But that's not the problem. The problem is this tarp. This tarp is not watertight. As you can see, it is made out of a woven material and water seeps between it. Like you can see here where it's fraying. Yeah, water seeps between it and water has just been going onto the firewood. You can maybe see how reflective and wet it is. Yeah. So while I thought I put a tarp over my firewood so it could dry properly, it didn't at all. And sadly we discovered that way too late. Luckily, once you start digging down in the middle here, this firewood is quite dry. It's just everything that's on top and on the edges that is quite wet. So yeah, next year's firewood we're gonna either get a different tarp or I'm gonna have to build another one of these, because the firewood that was in here was the best quality firewood we had. It was so dry, it was so good compared to all that stuff. As you can see, we took some of that stuff and put it in here, so hopefully it dries a little bit before we get to use it. But yeah, just a tarp that isn't watertight on top didn't work. And I'm also thinking that, like, when snow lays on top of it and starts melting, it starts seeping through. Which is not supposed to be a big problem, but because the tarp was over it, it couldn't then get rid of the water by steaming it off or, you know, having wind go through it. So that's a problem I have this year, but that's not a problem I will have next year. They actually say here in Sweden you should be fine just stacking your firewood without a roof, because wind will still blow through it and it will still dry even without a roof or a tarp. And I think that would have been better than what we did now, because, like I said, this tarp kept the moisture inside and let water go through. So yeah, that was a big no-no. Like, as you can see here, even some of the firewood has started getting some mold on it. That's how moist it has been underneath this tarp. And I think all of that would have been okay if it wasn't such a winter the way it was. Yeah, I don't think I'm fully to blame here. Of course, I'm not going to blame myself for everything. But yes, I think the winter we had is a large part of the problem. because several times during this winter we got snow and then the snow melted and we got new snow and the snow melted again. That meant that every time it melted, new water started getting into the firewood. And that was just difficult to deal with. There's no way with just a tarp, especially a leaky tarp, that we could deal with that. So the plan right now is to get as much of the wet firewood that we can access right now and put it in here, and use the dry firewood that's in the center to actually use inside. That's the only thing we can do right now, and then hopefully the firewood that we move from there starts drying a little bit. But yeah, it kind of sucks. But that's a lesson learned, and we're not gonna do that again in the future. Yes, now that I took the tarp off, I am 100% sure that the tarp trapped more moisture in there than it kept out. Because so much of the firewood that's on top is has started molding and has got some, like, look at that. It started growing mushrooms and stuff. I mean, look at this shit. Yeah, so the tarp is not staying on anymore. We're taking that off. And we're taking some different kinds of plastic to put on top, only to protect against the rain. And then on days when it isn't raining, no tarp. And maybe we can save this firewood to still use this winter. Luckily, as you can see, it isn't as cold outside right now, so it's a little bit of a saving grace, but this is a mess. Well, as you can see, I moved a couple of layers from the top of that one into here. And you can already see the color difference. This stuff is way darker than that. The top layers were definitely the wettest. The farther I go down, the drier it gets, which, you know, it's a good sign. It isn't all bad. So we definitely have dry firewood in there, and I'm hoping that temporarily moving it in here before we use it is going to help a bunch. And as you can see, inside we have been stacking firewood around our fire so it gets warm and dries out inside as well. So we're working on solutions. Don't be scared. It looks like a bad idea. It might be a bad idea, but we are only doing this when we're at home. We are not leaving the firewood that close to the fire while we're not home, because that would be stupid. I'm almost ashamed to show this one, but this might be the worst thing I've ever made. So we had another sheet of plywood left over, and as you can see, it was all bent. And I just took a plank that I attached to the side of the pallet down there and just hold up this roof for now. I mean, it's gonna be better than that stupid plastics, because it's not gonna trap water inside and it's gonna stop rain and snow from collecting on top. So it is gonna work. It just looks like shit. but it's gonna be super temporary. It's just gonna be there until this firewood is gone, and then I'm gonna take it away and make something this beautiful for the next year. But this is just something to help us through this firewood instead of that stupid tarp that gave us all these problems. And this plastic right here, we found a roll of it. This is that stuff that you put on the outside of your basement to keep water from coming into your basement. We've got a couple of rolls of that stuff. And that's also going to be better than the plastic because it's not porous. It's not going to let any water through, and the wood can still breathe through the sides. So that's going to be our temporary solution for now, because we fucked up. Yeah, so this looks like shit, but it is just... it's something, I guess. Anyway, long story short, don't put porous plastic on top of your firewood that lets snow and water go through it, and make sure it can breathe out of the sides. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do ugly stuff like this. Anyway, to learn more of my mistakes, please subscribe, like the video so that I learn from my own mistakes, and see you all next time. Bye.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next vlog, and don't forget to subscribe.
So don't miss a video, subscribe now, and I'll see you in the next episode.